Bitcoin sees 6 weeks of gains, 6 weeks since market low back in March. Will the gains continue? In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin breaks $7,500. What is the bullish target to the upside, and can Bitcoin get there? And there it is, everyone. 6 weeks of gains on the charts for Bitcoin. 6 weeks from that swing low in the beginning of March. We're talking around 100% gains for Bitcoin. This is the weekly chart. For context of this video, I just want to point out $8,700. That 50-week moving average going into this halving, which is like 18 days away. 50-week moving average. Big resistance. Very big area to watch in terms of what is in store for Bitcoin basically as we go into summertime. Also on the weekly, what I just really want to point out is this. We've seen Bitcoin, this was kind of out of nowhere because of this pandemic that happened, this dip. We've seen Bitcoin dip back below that 40 line on the weekly RSI, this momentum oscillator, slower moving momentum oscillator. Under that 40 line, this right around this pink line here, we know under that 40 line is really just an incredibly kind of oversold area for Bitcoin. I know oversold is below 30, but in terms of market cycles, we know that this kind of signifies the bottom of bear markets, right? Historically, we don't have so much context. We've had like 2 really solid bear markets that we can use for this, but under that 40 line is a really good indicator of where to buy some Bitcoin. So on the weekly chart, you can see we came back out of there. And on the retracement scenario for Bitcoin, I look for potential support at that area if Bitcoin does retrace. Wanted to point that out on the weekly, but yes, do not forget this 50-week moving average, $8,700. Let's cruise over to the daily chart. Very simple, everybody. I'm going to give it to you straight. We have a rising wedge with 2 breakouts. It's a bullish scenario. It's a bearish scenario. Prepare for each. That's what I'm here to tell you. I'm not here to tell you what's going to happen next, but I want you to prepare. Anticipate every scenario. Find your position, what you're comfortable with right now, keeping in mind that anything can happen. So let's look at these scenarios and let's try and get some clues what might have a better possibility, right? So very simple, breakout target right around $9,800 out of this rising wedge, and a bearish breakout target right around $5,500 out of this rising wedge. Right now, Bitcoin kind of hovering around $7,500. We cruised up for a quick higher high in this wedge in the last 24 hours or so. And you can see resistance right here, confluent around $7,900. That's the first area on the short term to look for resistance if Bitcoin continues this uptrend. The reason why is there's just a lot of confluence there. We have the 200 moving average, right? We have the upper trend line of this rising wedge. So 2 confluent areas. And then we have a Fibonacci retracement area of 9,100 down right to that confluent area of 7,900. So what is that Fibonacci retracement area? Very simple. It is a swing high that we had in February to our swing low that we had in March. And we come back up, and this is our 786 to 786 resistance. And what else is confluent in that resistance area? This is all in the daily chart. The 50-week moving average at 8,700. Look at the resistance ahead for Bitcoin, right around 9,100 down to $8,000. So it's crazy to look at the resistance, but it's exciting because it gives us a really true data point, a nice channel of resistance to say if Bitcoin breaks that is incredibly bullish. So we can keep our eyes on this area. This is the daily chart. Cruising over to the 4-hour, I just wanted to point this out to you on the very short term, what to anticipate. I have a bunch of lines I'm going to explain to you. Again, here's the $8,700, right? That 50-week moving average resistance. We're not quite there yet, but what I want to talk about, I did a video yesterday which YouTube didn't upload. I don't know why, but I basically said I haven't been doing videos as much. And I'll start doing them again if Bitcoin breaks around 7,400, 7,450. Bitcoin in the last like 8 hours or so broke 7,400. It broke 7,500. The reason I was doing that is because that was a previous swing high, right? Back in April, beginning of April. And it's just been a lot of consolidation since then, bouncing around. So I just wanted to see Bitcoin break that previous swing high. On the flip side, if Bitcoin broke a swing low, I'd probably start doing videos as well. But it broke that swing high, and the move is kind of very similar to a swing high that Bitcoin broke from March, the end of March resistance back here, right? Some consolidation. Bitcoin broke a swing high of that area around 6,800 and went on to a higher high finally in April 6th. So we see similarities. A swing high again, we broke that swing high, and now are we going on to a higher high? And to illustrate what that might look like, we can use that same scenario. Here's that swing high Bitcoin was seeing some resistance at, right? We put our Fibonacci retracement. We see right here, Bitcoin started breaking that swing high, and then we had a higher high right at the 1618. We know using Fibonacci retracement, the 1618 is a great area to anticipate a higher high, right? And so we can take our same Fibonacci retracement, we can take this swing high resistance right around, 7450 or so to our swing low, and we have a higher high 1618 right around $8,000. So now we're on the 4-hour chart. We're talking about around $8,000, $7,900 resistance. And what is that? Again, going back to the daily, we have resistance right around $79,000, $8,000. The resistance here is insane, everybody. So we're at $7,500. We are so close to $8,000. First question is Bitcoin going to make it there, right? Are we going to see a run to $8,000 for Bitcoin? That's what to look at for the short term. But a more important question is Bitcoin going to break that $8,000? If it does, the bulls are going to start making some noise. You can better believe that. Going to the weekly chart, just want to point out to you, we have a ways to go, right? The entrance to the bull market. I've been saying this since like a long time. I don't know when I really started tracking this Fibonacci retracement. However, I did a long-term chart back here, the bottom of the bear market, talking about this Fibonacci retracement. This is the bull market doors, right? It's the bull market high to the bear market low. It's our 786 to 618 resistance. We had the same type of resistance back in that last cycle, and that was a true entry point for the bull market. And Bitcoin made that bull market move through that resistance, months after the last Bitcoin halving. So similarly, right around $13,000 to $16,000 is still there. It's still waiting. In the meantime, is Bitcoin going to retrace, or are we going to just cruise up there quickly? That's a question nobody can possibly tell you the answer to. But what I do know is we have some really cool clues on the 4-hour and on the daily chart. A move to this breakout target, $9,800, would be the first step to that bullish resistance for Bitcoin to break into the bull market. We wait, we see, we track it. I appreciate you coming by. If you're here right now, if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Your likes, hitting that like button on the way out, really means a lot to me. I truly appreciate you. I thank you for coming by. We'll see you in the next video. God bless.